Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a betting guide for UFC 302 Islam Makachev versus Dustin Poirier. We're going to be going over some bets I'm thinking about, some live betting strategies, fights that you should avoid, and also sharing some knowledge with you guys on betting in general. So anyways, without further ado, also quickly before I get into it, if you do enjoy this video and you get value from the content and you want me to continue this series, please leave me a like. If you're extra generous, leave me a comment as well. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it. So make sure you guys have a bankroll. Feel free to pause it. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what a bankroll is. Recommended staking strategies. You know, we want to manage our risk correctly. Bankroll management's key in this betting game for longevity. So I personally bet between 0.25 and 1.25 units. Also want to keep in mind that this is a long-term game. We are day trading the UFC betting markets, and the goal is to gradually accumulate profits over time, which then compounds into large amounts. Similarly, we approach the UFC betting markets as an investment opportunity. However, it's important to recognize that this is a long-term game and you're not going to see private jet or Bugatti money next weekend. So also want to process the fact that the betting process is an ongoing battle. Don't let me talk you off a bet. If you feel really, really strongly about a side after doing your research, and you've got to trust your own gut and you've got to trust your own research, there's some factors that go into the betting process and the dynamic odds. The UFC betting lines are constantly adjusting based on fight announcements, injuries, training camp updates, market movements. Paying attention to how the lines move, as sharp bettors and the public opinion can significantly impact the odds. For evaluation, marinating ideas, initial predictions and strategies evolve as more information becomes available. Adjustments, be ready to refine your bets based on new insights and data leading up to the fights. And consistent review, ongoing analysis, continuously reassess your bets as the week progresses to ensure you're making informed decisions based on the latest information, and have some flexibility as well. Be prepared to pivot from your strategy if new critical information emerges that could affect the fight outcome. So recap, Barboza versus Murphy. I think we're on like a 9-event winning streak, which is absolutely beautiful. Got to keep the money train rolling. Top ticket play on Angela Hill cashes 1 unit. We also had 0.75 units on Gatto plus Adrian Yanez. And we also had a 0.25 unit bet, Ducote, Cyan Gatto. Cyan Gatto won easily, but it was a bad decision, but probably shouldn't have put money on Ducote when it was a really, really close competitive fight. We also had a live bet. So we had 0.25 units on Haley Alatang around the midpoint of round 1. And yeah, and showing someone a winning slip, showing you guys, hey, I'm betting these fights with real money. And yeah, so the first bet I'm very, very much considering is Sean Strickland. At the moment, I've got about 0.25 units on him. And I'm just going to monitor the line, think about things a bit more, because I do believe there's a lot of strong opinions on the Costa side. So you may see some Costa money flood in. I just want to get a little bit in now, you know, and monitor the line, see how it goes. But from a stylistic standpoint and from a skill set perspective, I think Strickland's an elite level fighter for the high level competition. While I just consider Costa a good fighter. He's solid, don't get me wrong, but I think Strickland has more tools and more ways to win on the feet. I think it's a 5-round fight, so I favor his cardio more. I think Strickland has elite level defense. He's very, very hard to hit to the head, good head movement, good defense, and he's underrated at blocking and checking kicks as well. So this is the dog of the night bet I have currently. I have 0.25 units on Cesar Almeida. Do I increase this one to 0.5 units? I just think this is going to be a competitive striking fight. And I do think this is a good matchup from Cesar Almeida. I'm not saying he can't lose, but I think the UFC are doing him a favor here by giving him another striker who doesn't really have a strong grappling game. And in a 15-minute kickboxing fight, I think Cesar Almeida is going to be able to edge it, but wouldn't surprise me at all if Kopylov is able to get the job done. But yeah, I think as an underdog, I think there's a little bit of value there. I think Cesar Almeida is a solid fighter. I think he's got a very, very good kickboxing skill set and prowess. Now, these are some parlay pieces I'm looking at. We've got Jailton Almeida. I think round 1 could be quite competitive, but as the fight goes on, I favor his cardio. I also think he's the better overall, more skilled grappler. I think he can win a lot of these grappling exchanges and transitions. Next parlay piece I'm considering is Ailin Perez. Now, I think it's a very, very good stylistic matchup for I think the UFC have set Ailin Perez up with a very, very winnable fight because she's got grappling. She wants to go to her grappling, and Jocelyn Edwards has a very, very bad takedown defense, and she's really, really bad off her back. Another parlay piece I'm considering is Grant Dawson. I think on the feet he's slightly better, but Selecki is predominantly a grappler, and I think Dawson is the better wrestler slash grappler slash BJJ practitioner. I think on the mat he can win a lot of these transition scrambles, get on top, and I think Selecki's got a really, really bad ground game when he's on off his back. I think he's a good offensive grappler, but if you are able to put him on his back, he does look very, very weak. I think Dawson's going to be able to win this fight. Another parlay piece I'm considering is Islam Makachev. Of course, this is a high-level fight, high-profile fight. Dustin Poirier is an elite-level fighter, so I think this one carries a bit more risk, and a lot of these championship fights tend to be more unpredictable, but I think Islam Makachev is a world-class, elite-level fighter, very well-rounded, excellent grappling, and I think he does have a big, big grappling advantage in this match, so that's another parlay piece I'm considering. Now we're going to go over some live betting strategies. Almeida. Now, Romanov is a guy who might come out very, very strong in round one. He might have a lot of success in round one, but as the fight progresses, I trust Almeida's cardio more. Romanov's shown a case of slowing down and gassing and getting worse as the fight progresses. Another live betting strategy is Kevin Holland. Now, Mikhail Olazáchik might come out very, very strong in round one, but tends to fade as the fight progresses and starts to, he still fights strong, and he tries to go for the win, but you can see visibly that he starts to fatigue a bit and he becomes much less effective. Another live betting strategy here is Sean Strickland. Paulo Costa, I think, could make the fight very, very competitive in round one, but as Sean Strickland gets his reads, and I trust Sean Strickland's cardio more, and as the fight progresses, I favour Sean Strickland. Another live betting strategy here is Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. Now, if Phil Rowe is able to keep Jake Matthews at range and just kind of out-jab him, and Jake Matthews is having a hard time closing the distance, then you might want to live bet Phil Rowe. Likewise, if Jake Matthews is able to easily get inside the pocket and get his game going, then you might want to look at the Jake Matthews side from a live betting perspective. Now, this is a fighter that I'm going to say that you guys should be very, very careful of, and it's Kevin Holland. I know there's a lot of strong opinions on the Kevin Holland side. He's a very, very popular fighter, and people think this is going to be a very, very easy matchup. I'm not saying he can't win, and don't let me talk you off a bet if you feel very, very strongly about Kevin Holland, but to me, this is the guy who, with untrustworthy fight IQ, can often make fights very, very competitive, even against not high levels or competitions, guys who are on a decline. And you have to pay up a heavy price on him. And he's a guy who can often not take the fight game very, very serious. Inside the cage, gets far too friendly, far too jokey, handshakes and fist bumps. And you can often just kind of go into fights with like a sparring mentality and not take things very, very serious. While Mikhail, he's got the will to win, and he's going to keep coming forward. So that's a fighter that I think that I would personally be careful of if you are targeting the Kevin Holland side. Now, bets I'm considering, we've gone over the parlay pieces: Almeida, Perez, Dawson, Makachev. Might have to do a little mix and match, see which parlay pieces I like, and kind of come up with their bet there. But just going to let my thoughts marinate a bit more before committing my money to a side there. Another bet I'm considering is Andre Lima. Now, I have a feeling this could be a levels fight. I think he could potentially be a much stronger fighter than Turman. I don't even want to bother pronouncing the name. And I think he could possibly just showcase levels, outstrike him. And I think he could have a big, big grappling advantage. So that's a bet I'm considering, but just going to let my thoughts marinate before committing to money. So that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you got value from it and you enjoyed the video and you want me to continue this series, please leave me a like. And good luck with your bets, predictions, picks, and yeah, let's go.